guys, it's Taylor from Kinpatsu Cosplay here. Let's be honest, there's nothing more frustrating than constantly having to pull up your sexy socks that are sadly sagging. Say that 10 times fast. So, a few years ago, I conducted an experiment to find the best methods to keep up thigh-high socks. The art of wearing thigh-high socks is an incredibly important field of study, and after 12 years of dedicated research on this topic, I thought I knew everything about how to keep them up and what didn't work. But recently, some new information has come to light that could change everything. As fellow thigh-high enthusiasts, Moeflavor contacted me about their new Jiggle Defender body tape and wanted me to put it to the test. Moeflavor creates adorable anime and cosplay-inspired outfits so they understand the needs of cosplayers and anyone who just wants to look cute and not have their costumes moving around too much. So they created the Jiggle Defender tape. This is a waterproof, heavy-duty body tape that is made to hold up stockings for up to 12 hours. Now, previously when I did my first experiment for keeping up the stockings, I did try body tape, but it really wasn't my favorite method. It's just not always reliable and the results can be hit or miss. The other kinds of body tape I've used in the past didn't hold for that long, especially if you started to sweat or moved around too much. But Moeflavor says that their tape is different and that it will solve these issues and withstand a full day of wear. So today, I'm testing the legendary Jiggle Defender tape against the top 2 selling brands of body tape on Amazon to see how they compare.
The Jiggle Defender tape comes with instructions on the back which you can follow to get the best results. To apply the tape, prep the skin with some rubbing alcohol. You can then peel off the backing of the tape and press it into position on your skin. Once the tape is stuck down, you can then peel off the remaining layers on top. Moeflavor recommends applying 2 strips of tape underneath each other for stockings. Once the tape is in place, you can take the stockings and line them up with the tape and press them into position. I also added more tape to the back of my legs to keep the stockings up there as well.
I have done this prep for all the tape I'm using today and applied them in the same way. The first test I'm doing is just a general walking and movement test.
This test is to see how well the tape does under light strain and if walking around will be an issue at all. I walked and jumped around for a few minutes just to see if the tape would move at all. After this first test, the Jiggle Defender tape was still going strong. The second kind of tape I used was also hanging in there, but the third type of tape I used was already having trouble and had come off the back of my leg.
Next up is the squat test. It's great to be able to just walk around in your stockings, but what about if you need to do some badass action poses and bend down because you dropped something?
This test will see how the tape performs under intense stretching and pulling. The Jiggle Defender tape didn't even budge. It held on really well even when I was bending down. The second kind of tape I used also passed this test, but just barely. After already slipping off the back during my first test, the last kind of tape was now hanging on by a thread.
The last test I'm doing is a water test. After you've been wearing your costumes for a long time, sometimes you can get pretty sweaty. So how does the tape hold up after it's been wet?
To test this, I'm spraying a bit of water onto my legs and over the tape. Then I'll continue to move around and see what happens. Even wet, the Jiggle Defender tape is still holding on. I could even pull on my stockings and they still didn't pop off at all, and I had to slowly peel the tape off, which is really impressive after all the testing it went through. The second tape held up for a little bit while it was wet, but it eventually caved and peeled off. As for the third tape, well, it barely held on for the squat test, so after I sprayed it with water, I didn't even get to move. It just gave up and surrendered.
So after all this testing, I can absolutely see the difference between the quality of the Jiggle Defender tape versus its competitors. Now, it's all good and well to do tests like this at home in a controlled environment, but what about at an actual convention? So I took the Jiggle Defender tape with me to my most recent con to try it out in the field. And it worked amazingly. It held up for 8 hours while I was in costume, and even by the end of the day when I got home, it was difficult to take it off. So you can absolutely bet I'm going to be including the Jiggle Defender tape in my own cosplay emergency kit from now on. The tape can also be used to hold other pieces of clothing in place, like tube tops, accessories, and even lace front wigs. After trying out the tape and putting it to the test, I definitely give this my approval, and it is cosplay certified for sure. If you'd like to get some for yourself, check out the link in the description for it. Thanks again to Moeflavor for sponsoring this video and sending me the tape to try out. I'll be back with more videos soon. Bye for now.